My research here in Chickawawa is about determining trends in borehole construction to identify patterns of why there's such a high rate of non-functioning boreholes. Groundwater is essential for sustainable water supply in Malawi, and boreholes and borehole development needs to be properly done in order to have a sustainable groundwater supply. Currently, wells are not being constructed properly, and as a function of that, they're not supplying water. For me, I think it's important because I get to take a look at geology and hydrogeology that isn't well studied. In the United States, it's pretty well studied, but here it's new, it's fresh, and it's very interesting for me. Well, for me, my project I feel is fairly important. I'm working with the vertically integrated project at Strathclyde and with the Climate Justice Fund. And there's a lot of people, I think, in Chickawawa that depend on groundwater supply, and I don't want to let any of them down, so I feel quite a bit of pressure, I suppose.
The Climate Justice Fund project at the University of Strathclyde gives students the opportunity to work with local and national government to find ways to enhance integrated water resource management. In rural Chickawawa, for most, groundwater is the only source of water for much of the year. When drilling a well, it is important to construct the well properly. However, many of the boreholes that have been installed no longer work or have water of poor quality. Students who are studying hydrogeology at the University of Strathclyde are given the opportunity to undertake field work to better understand the siting of boreholes and of the aquifers that are supplying groundwater, and then work with drillers on the well design and installation so the number of failed or abandoned wells are greatly reduced, and so people have a more sustainable supply of water in rural Chickawawa. Many wells in Chickawawa end up abandoned as they are high in salinity. Well design can target aquifers that have fresh water and exclude those that have salt, providing a usable water supply.
My goals have constantly been evolving down here. You come with a certain idea, which, you know, I think your goals tend to be layered like an onion. And you come down and you see, well, all right, what's the core that I need to finish? What do I need to get? And what are some of the extraneous things? And you end up just shedding away layers of the onion as you come down, because there's too much, or you can't find the data, or for instance, like a drill rig breaks down, or it's in Zomba, needs to be in Chickawawa. It's just, there's a lot of things that get in the way of achieving the full set of goals that you come with, but you're constantly evolving, for sure. Challenges, finding data. What I've found is, and I've heard this from quite a few people, the government has tried to focus on decentralization and, you know, having districts take care of themselves. But what happens is, you know, funding starts with the government, or a program starts with the government and it bypasses a district, and work just starts in a district, whereas the district office has no idea that work starts. So finding data, whether it exists, is difficult, and oversight for drilling projects is scant as well. So finding data is the biggest problem, I think. Well, in the rural and peri-urban environments, most of the sanitation doesn't involve piped water treatment systems. It's just pit latrines and a hole in the ground, and washing your hands is with a bucket of water if it's there. So I'm quite used to, a toilet with running water and a sink, a faucet to wash your hands. And in the rural and peri-urban environments, it just doesn't exist. So that's the biggest difference, I think. Leading into the answer I had for challenges, I think better organization, better data collection, and most importantly, data communication between, say, Lilongwe and the district offices would really help to improve water resources. Don't assume that data is going to be available for you to do a research project, because if the data exists, and it's a big if, finding it can be a real task in and of itself. And if you're only here for a few weeks, that's a big challenge.